Today we're showing how to properly adjust cables on an Atlas transfer case built after April of 2012. Earlier units, adjustments similar, but please refer to instruction manual for proper attaching of the shift rails. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we need to remove the red protector. The jam nut on the Atlas shift cable is not going to be used. We're going to remove the jam nut and the first retaining nut for the adjuster and back the other adjuster all the way off. After we have this process completed, the cable will be routed through the installed bracket with the first adjusting nut slid over. You'll have the acorn nut for retaining the ferrule. Make sure to install the ferrule small side away from the transfer case. You'll spin this almost all the way on. Then as you slide the cable into the pre-drilled hole in the Atlas to where it stops, you will turn the ferrule down to where it just touches the shift rod. From there, what you want to do is to set to make sure our adjustment stays straight, slide the cable back, pulling the acorn over top of this to where it's bottomed out. You'll notice we have about 3 threads showing. That's very important because as we continue on, we will slide the cable back into the hole, confirming that our adjustment is still there, sliding the acorn nut over the top of the shift rail, completely turning down to where it's here. You'll notice we still have the same 3 threads showing. Grab the 3/4 inch wrench and tighten, and we are now attached to the transfer case. Now this was done with the front axle in neutral. Now we are going to need to put the transfer case in low range. The easiest way to do that is a brass punch and a hammer on the shift rail and tap the shift rod all the way back into low range. Make sure it's completely into gear. You'll see it wasn't all the way into gear. Easily identified, but you can see the acorns almost back to the shifter base. From there, we will now take the outside adjusting nut. We will pull, just start it. By grabbing a hold of the green sheathing of the cable, you will pull this away from the transfer case as far as it will go. Now, you'll see that it can't come back anymore. This adjuster nut's all the way back. So you will turn this all the way down to where it touches and just starts to pull the cable. Turn it 1 turn in, and then we will adjust on the outside, locking down the cable, which now puts us adjusted at the transfer case. Before moving on to the next step, you'll want to shift the transfer case back to neutral will be required for adjusting the remaining part of the shifting mechanism. Simplest way is simply a screwdriver behind and sliding the unit. It will stop when it comes into neutral. Shift both levers back out to neutral. And now we are ready to proceed to adjusting the rest of the shift handles at the shifter box. It's very imperative that this adjustment's made before installing the unit in the vehicle because this adjustment's very difficult to do once installed.